All right, so this is our weekly cybersecurity briefing. We do this every Thursday from 1:30 to about 1:50, 15 to 20 minutes long to get you the information you need and get you back to work. And so I will go over our agenda. So typically what we do on these is we have our introduction. We go over current cybersecurity landscape, recent cybersecurity attacks and breaches, and if there's cybersecurity best practices, FTC safeguards, compliances, if there's anything that has changed in the FTC or SEC that you maybe need to be aware of if you're in an accounting or wealth management firm, and then we have our closing statements. So I want to say thank you for being here. It says a lot about you. I don't know what reason maybe you might be here today, whether you're an owner of a firm, you're wanting to protect your people, data, and your technology, or maybe you're a middle manager or upper management and you say, hey, I need to understand cybersecurity and what's going on in the real world. And that's what we're here today to help you with, is to help you understand what is going on in the cyber reality, so you can better inform your team and protect them from what's happening. Or maybe you're just like, hey, I just show up to work and work hard just like everybody else, and you can help protect your organization as well. So here at Vandernet, we love to educate. And so if you have any questions in regard to maybe content that we're covering today, or maybe just a cybersecurity question, feel free to email hello@rethinksecured.com, because here at Vandernet, we always want to be thinking about rethinking secure. What does security look like today and being secured in a business today? Because tomorrow it might be different based on what threats are actually happening in the world and things that change overnight. Literally, cybersecurity changes, we like to think, on a day-by-day basis, but it really is an hour-by-hour basis. And so who are we? I'm Garrett. I'm the CEO here at Vandernet, and we are a cybersecurity-focused IT solutions company. We focus on the middle central region of the United States, protecting accounting and wealth management firms. That's our industry focus. We secure businesses. We secure the people in the business, the data that they have inside their business, and their technology. And so just like anything else, things are changing. Cyber attacks are going way up, and we want to give you the information you need and get you back to work. So, current cybersecurity landscape, latest trends, threats, and developments in cybersecurity with a focus on how they impact you and your business. So today we're going to talk about how criminals take over your domain. And some of you might not be like, hey, what's my domain? We'll get to that. We'll bring some understanding to that. Your domain would be like your website name that you put in your browser, and like www.microsoft.com. And you say, wow, criminals can overtake that? Yeah, there's several ways that criminals can overtake your actual website or what your email addresses are. Today, it's just kind of really a catchy saying of how criminals take over your domain, because we specifically see in the industry not necessarily hostile takeovers of domain, but something that's very, very, very important for you to understand of what criminals can do and how they impersonate your business to take over what appears to be your domain name and start talking to maybe your contact list or people in your geographical region trying to solicit and do business as you. But in fact, those people that are engaging in that company are actually doing business or engaging cybersecurity criminals. So what I want to go over today is, like, a great example is Microsoft.com. I pulled up Microsoft.com because I didn't want to use any specific entity's name, so that's smaller. Microsoft.com, Microsoft has a pretty big cybersecurity team, and they're probably a pretty large target in regards to cyber criminals. So I think they're a perfect example of a domain to use that would be a good example for the conversation today. So Microsoft.com, you can see it, Microsoft.com. And what you'll see, I took a screenshot of their website. What cyber criminals are doing is they're registering domain names. that are like one letter off. So we just saw it this week with a construction company. Cyber criminals had taken a construction company's name and then added an S to it. So the example here would be like Microsoft's or something just a little bit off, maybe like micro somehow, like with two O's and soft, something that is not as noticeable. And then what they're doing is they're creating a bunch of fake email accounts and users with that fake, like almost like that domain, almost like Microsoft.com, just similarly to like this construction company we saw this week that was engaging one of our CPA firm customers, but it wasn't really that construction company that was engaging the CPA firm. It was hackers that had stolen, or not stolen, they just simply purchased the same similar domain name with an S on the end of it and was trying to solicit and trying to get one of our accounting firm customers engaged and potentially doing business with them. So how do you detect this? How do you know if it's malicious? And we're going to go to our tip today about what our suggestion is when you receive maybe a questionable email, or maybe the sentence structure or syntax is not accurate. And so today I'm going to show you, I'm going to get out of the presentation here and I'm going to show you there's a cool website you can go to. So I pulled up Microsoft's website for the presentation today, but you can go to this cool website. It's called https://who.is. And so if you get an email from somebody that you've never done business with, or maybe it is somebody you do business with, but you need to look specifically more at where that is from, the @ and make sure that it is exactly the domain name that you're expected to receive it from. Don't just assume it's who it is. If it says, for example, if I was with Microsoft, it'd be Garrett@Microsoft.com. Don't assume that it really is Microsoft.com. Make sure that it's not Microsoft's with an S.com on it before you start engaging or responding. So there's a really cool tool and it's called who.is, and you can go here and you can type in domain names or IP addresses, and this domain name or this IP address it helps you. You can type in like a domain name, so Microsoft.com, and you type it in here and it pulls up information about Microsoft.com. It tells you who's is registered to. But a lot of these malicious, these hackers are doing something. They're just spinning them up like really fast. And this is a great way for you to look and see, has that been registered for a while? Or was that just registered like 2 days ago, that domain name? And in the example that I used today for that construction company that was engaging one of our CPA firm clients, that domain name was literally produced 10 days ago. So the likelihood that it's reputable is highly unlikely, because hackers are spinning up domain names really quickly, spraying a bunch of people in the area, trying to get them engaged, and then ultimately hack them. So here you can see Microsoft.com was registered originally in 1991 and then updated August of 2023, and it expires in 2025. So you can take your domain name, you can put it in here, or anybody else's domain name, and you can see who's the hosting provider for the domain name, where's the domain parked is what we call it, and then when it was registered and when it expires. So like I said, the construct that was registered like 10 days ago. So it'd say registered on, and then it would be like 5/20/24. That's when that one was registered. So it's important that you are doing your due diligence. You can go to who.is and find out that information for you. So people are not only hacking domain names and taking over existing domain names, but they're registering domain names very similarly and close to those that you'd be familiar with. So recent cyber attacks and breaches. So today, scenario number one that we're going to go over is just came out, that Ticketmaster data breach, 560 million users information for sale at 500,000. So let's go check out this article and talk about it just for a second. So It says the notorious hacker group Shiny Hunters has claimed to have breached the security of Ticketmaster Live Nation, compromising the personal data of a whopping 560 million users. This massive 1.3 terabyte of data is now being offered on sale on breach forums for a one-time sale of $500,000. So what did they steal? They stole full names, addresses, email addresses, phone numbers, which is probably your cell phone number if you use Ticketmaster. If they have an issue, you're probably register your cell phone number with it. Ticket sales, events, details. We scroll all the way down to the bottom, and it looks like this isn't their first incident. They actually, back in January of 2021, Ticketmaster was found guilty of hacking. Ticketmaster was found guilty into a rival company, Songkick, to obtain confidential information. Also, you can see that that's not all. Last week, this happened. The DOJ got Ticketmaster for monetizing markets across the live concert industry. The lawsuit highlights a pattern of cybersecurity and ethical challenges faced by Ticketmaster over the years. So we got ethical issues, but really what I wanted to point out was this January 26, 2023, the company admitted that the ticket sales for Taylor Swift's concert were disrupted by a bot-driven attack, highlighting vulnerabilities in the ticketing system. And so what are bots? That leads us to our next article that we're going to discuss today, and that is, let me pull it up, ransomware networks brought down in major global police operation. And it says police arrested high-value suspects, took over 100 servers, which if you don't know what a server is what makes everything work. You report to work, you work on your computer, the server's in the back end doing a lot of things that you're fortunate that you don't have to see or hopefully interact with. That is what your IT provider or your IT department does for you. But the global police operation seized 100 servers. And what we found out was these are botnet servers. And you're like, what in the world is a botnet server, Garrett? And so I will tell you. So a botnet is where a cyber criminal, they infect a machine or a lot of machines. So think about it like corporations or industries getting attacked, like, oh geez, thousands and thousands of computers get infected with what we call a bot or a zombie application that then is what we would use to install command and control. So hackers, they're very smart. They don't want you to know exactly where they're hacking you from. So they have this series of botnet servers, computers that are hacked from all over the world, that at the fingertips of their commands, they can hack you through those series of other computers. And so that way you don't know where they're actually hacking you from. They could be hacking you from somebody's thermostat inside somebody's house that was hacked because it wasn't actually coded correctly, or there's a vulnerability. It could be your computer. You could be hacked. Your computer could be used to hack somebody else's network. Think about that for a second. Like you're not doing it, but your computer that you have, because it didn't have the ample protections on it, could be being used to hack other people's computers. So that's what it's happening here. It's a command and control server, and then multiplication. And then they use those thousands of computers to hack other companies, push malware, and then those computers become part of their botnet. They use spam emails. They use these computers all across the world to send spam emails, infect websites, and social media posts for you to click on and then get malware installed on your computer that could be used to deploy ransomware, or you could experience a ransomware attack as well, or your business. That's specifically what hackers are after: the money. No matter whatever at the end of the day that they're trying to get, it's money. They want the money, and they will get money two ways. They'll either get you to pay a ransom, or they'll help themselves to your bank account. If they get the right information, they can draw money directly on your bank accounts, your business bank accounts, if you don't have ample protections in place. So that's why it's extremely important to have the necessary things in place to protect your people, your data, and your infrastructure. So it's a huge win for agencies, like both nation states and all these government agencies. And we win too when the FBI, Interpol, all of them work together and seize these 100 servers. It says that they control over 2,000 internet domains. We just talked about domains. We talked about how hackers use domains to create close to your business name and start hacking your business. So it's great when we get stories like this where they are seizing these servers, they're stopping these cyber criminals, but we have to do our part. We have to protect our people, data, and technology. So next, that leads us to the last few weeks, I've had this slide up, and this slide says every time you open software on your computer, that software can access everything you can. And this is important, and there's a reason why I keep coming back to this, keep coming back to this, keep coming back to this, is because you need to be mindful of what's being installed on your computer and how easy is it to install stuff on your computer. If every time you open software has access to everything you have access to on your computer, what type of personal identifiable information do you have access to? And how can you restrict those accesses that you have, or maybe removing admin rights to help better secure the data that you're interacting with on your computer? So we're going to go over cybersecurity best practices. And today, here's the big idea. The big idea is suspicious emails. So we just talked about how hackers take over domains. We talked about how hackers modify a domain so it's not maybe Microsoft.com, but it's Microsofts.com. And maybe you're getting an email from Microsofts.com and not actually Microsoft.com. Or like this accounting example that happened literally this week, getting an email from a construction company that is curious if they're willing to do business. Are you still filing tax return extensions? And wanting to start engaging them. So in this instance, this example from this week is the sentence structure seemed a little off, but it's extremely important that you're not only saying who is sending this. So you can see the joe.doe@acme.com, but you need to make sure that that email domain is truly the real domain, that it is acme.com, not acmes.com. The other thing that cyber criminals are doing is they are copying. They can literally copy a web page. They can copy your business web page, and then they can spin up that almost like your domain account, and they can push your web page to that fictitious, that fake domain account. So then it looks like you go there and oh yeah, that looks like their website. So it's extremely important we verify the domain, the email domain that we have. And last but not least, we're going to get you out of here on time. I want to say thanks for being here. There's a QR code on your page. You can scan it and book a free 15-minute cybersecurity strategy session with us. We'd love to talk to you about your people, your data, and your technology. And maybe you have questions about how can I better secure this? And we'd love to have a conversation with you and potentially help you secure your business. And so there's also a bit.ly/rethink secure there. That will also take you to the same place where you can register a free 15-minute cybersecurity strategy session. And don't forget, this is every Thursday, 1:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. And we're here to get you what is happening right now in the real world when it comes to cybersecurity, and then get you back to your day. Thank you for your time today, and we look forward to seeing you next week.